Welcome to Asian ID in the ever-shifting landscape of short dramas, where trends rise and fade like passing tides. How did Guo Yuxin and Wang Haozhen quietly become what audiences now call a national pair, and their journey is not defined by a single success, but by three distinct collaborations, often referred to by fans as a trilogy, each leaving behind a different emotional imprint. But can a series of performances truly evolve into something that feels almost destined? In August 2025, their first appearance together in National Husband Takes Home exploded across the internet, not simply because of its romantic tropes, but because of how convincingly those tropes were brought to life. But why do familiar stories sometimes feel entirely new? In the right hand she played Hae-in, a tub-born yet vulnerable designer, while he embodied Yuxin, a restrained CEO hiding his depth beneath composure, and together they created a love story built on contract marriage and unspoken devotion. But is it the structure of the story, that moments like the playful confession through a game of chance and the blurred intimacy of a drunken kiss spread rapidly across platforms, turning into shared cultural memories? But why do certain scenes linger in our minds long after countless others fade away? By March 2026, their second collaboration, Meteor, shifted dramatically in tone, abandoning sweetness for something darker and more intricate. But what happens when a pairing known for tenderness steps into conflict? This time, she became the Yuxin, driven by revenge and sharpened by ambition, while he transformed into Zhao, a man whose calm exterior concealed layers of calculation. And their relationship turned into a battlefield of intellect and emotion. But is love more compelling when it risks destruction? Adapted from Fan Haozhen, his story wove together suspense and corporate intrigue, creating a tension that kept audiences on edge, while their chemistry deepened into something more complex. But can repeated collaboration unlock emotional depths that first encounters cannot? Reservation numbers soared into the millions even before the release, signaling not just popularity, but trust that this pairing would deliver something worth feeling. But when did audience expectation become a form of emotional investment? Then, in April of the same year, their third project, Good Rain Knows Its Season, began filming, and with it came another transformation, this time softer, quieter, more grounded in reality. But can a story built on healing resonate more deeply than one built on intensity? They stepped into the roles of Shisui, a resilient single mother, and Song Jiji, a man whose cold demeanor masks a gentle interior. And their story unfolded not through dramatic twists, but through gradual understanding. But is it possible that the simplest emotions are the hardest to portray across these three dramas? The progression is unmistakable, from sweetness to pain, from fantasy to realism. Yet one thing remains constant: the seamless flow of emotion between them, as if each collaboration refines something invisible yet undeniable. But can chemistry be cultivated, or is it something that either exists or does not? Audiences often describe them as meant to be partners, not in the literal sense, but in the way their performances align so naturally that disbelief disappears. But why do we feel compelled to assign fate to anything we know is crafted? Perhaps it is because, in their interactions, there's a rhythm that feels unforced, a balance that cannot be easily replicated, and a sincerity that resists exaggeration. But how rare is it to witness such consistency in an industry driven by novelty? Each project does not merely repeat success, but redefines it, offering a new emotional experience while preserving the core connection that audiences have come to cherish. But can reinvention coexist with familiarity without losing authenticity in the end? What makes this trilogy remarkable is not just its variety of themes, but its ability to make viewers feel that every story, no matter how different, is part of a larger emotional continuum. But are we watching separate narratives, or fragments of the same enduring connection? And perhaps the most lingering question of all is this: when audiences speak of them as if they were destined partners, are they celebrating the actors, the characters, or the fragile hope that somewhere, such understanding might exist beyond the screen? Thank you for watching the video. See you again.